Alright, let's move on to our next widget, the entry field. Now this is the same thing as like a form on a website where you would type in some information. As a programmer though, you can have the user type in some information and then do something with that message that they typed in. The first thing we need to do is we need to define a variable that holds the text that the user typed in. We can call this anything. I'll call it self.userText, and I'll set it equal to a Tkinter object called stringVar. StringVar is an object that allows us to store a string that the user typed in, specifically in Tkinter. Now I can go ahead and create my entry widget. I'll call this widget self.myEntry, although once again you can call it whatever you want, and we'll create it using the entry function call. As usual, we have to give it a parent. In this case, the parent is still self.master because we want it to appear right in the same frame or the same window as the button we already defined. I don't need to give it a text or a command because it neither displays text nor executes anything when you press on it, but I do want to tell it where to store the text that the user is going to type in. In this case, I'll say that text variable equals self.userText, which is that stringVar object that I just defined. And that's all that we need to do for the widget declaration. Now, I need to make the widget visible, of course, so I say that self.myEntry, and I grid it. In this case, I'll place it below the button, so I'll say row equals 1, but column still equals 0. Excellent. Now, in this case, what I want to do is I want to modify the button that I already have, and I want to have it print a message out to the terminal, but I want it to print specifically the text that's in the entry field. Remember that text in the entry field is stored in self.userText. So I'm going to modify my print message command down here, or my print message method, that's called when I press the button. Instead of saying you pressed a button and then changing the text to stop it, I'm instead going to print self.userText.get. Now, get is the method that I have to use that actually fetches what's in that entry field. Now I can go ahead and save this and run it. Now, this is interesting. Now I've got a click here button, but I've also got an entry field in which I can type text. Let's say I say, "Hi, Eric." I click here, and it prints that message down to the terminal window. And that's how you use an entry widget. And that's how you specifically get the contents of an entry widget. Now there's something else that we could do. We could actually set specifically what's in the entry widget, specifically on startup. Let's define another string var, initial text, and we'll set that to be type here. Now I've already got initial text set, and I can set my text variable to initial text. Now, when I go ahead and run this program, let me find it here. You can see that my words have already appeared in the entry widget.